I am shocked to announce that I am very happy. After years of watching him circle the drain. Hey, BioWare actually did something right. And I have to say, this is the best remaster I think I've played since Spyro. And, yeah. But it's not all sunshine and roses, but it mostly is. So I'll be showing you some screenshots I've got and everything else. One minor note, my footage all comes from the Xbox One S version, not the Xbox Series S, the last gen Xbox One S. Who can find an Xbox? No one. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything that's harder to find in the world right now, except maybe peace in the Middle East. Yeah. So, just bear that in mind. Now, just so you know, my standard for rating this is probably going to be a little bit different than a lot of people's, because here's my standard for this remaster, and why I was a bit about it going in. And that is, I wondered, is it going to look any better than Mass Effect on the PC running with the A Lot of Textures mod? Because the A Lot of Textures mod is extremely easy to install, no more hard to install than official DLC, and it's free. But I'm here to report, the game runs, even on the Xbox One S, the game runs at 60 frames per second and looks beautiful, as you're about to see in the screen caps that I've made over the past week of playing the first 20 or so hours of the first game. So, yeah. Now once in a while you will run into a glitch, but it's no worse than what you'll find on any video game. In fact, it's very minor. It's things like twice, the only glitches I personally run into are twice Twally got stuck on something. I've heard a report from somebody who played the PC version who said that the game froze on them in one level. But yeah, that's part and parcel with PC gaming. I've been PC gaming since '96, and I can tell you, if anything, games freezing has gotten a lot. Games don't freeze nearly as much as they used to. So yeah, there is that, and well, I'll just start talking about the game and show you some footage. Okay. First, the bad news. If you're one of the myriad of people, particularly game journalists, who think the original Mass Effect was a deeply flawed game on a gameplay front end, and want it to play exactly like a carbon copy of Mass Effect 2, they haven't done that. This remaster is 99% graphics. They haven't done anything to change the story or the gameplay, which is fine with me, because Mass Effect 1 was my favorite of a Mass Effect game, since it actually felt like a RPG instead of just a action game, a linear action game where you just select which order you play the levels in, and you have them. And you have a very limited upgrade system. Sorry, as much as I like the story and characters of Mass Effect 2 are free, I do not consider those two games RPGs. They just aren't. In RPG, I can actually see the effect I'm having on my team. I can actually customize things on my team. I can, and there's just a myriad of things to do and explore. And to be frank, my favorite part of the original Mass Effect was the thing that everybody else hated, so I know I'm an outlier, but it was exploring planets. That was totally gone in the sequels. But, oh my gosh, what they have done with the graphics is amazing. At least on Mass Effect 1. It blows away the fan-made. In Mass Effect 1, it blows away the fan-made the fan made A Lot of Textures mod, which I just got finished playing for the first time. It just blows it away. Even on the Xbox, which is the platform that all these screenshots are coming from, and it's just beautiful. It makes exploring the planets a joy, and I am very happy with just how everything works. It just, with how it looks, lighting has been improved. The only thing I would really complain about is that there seems to be a thing where, I swear, I created my shepherd and he looked fine in the character editor, but in the cutscenes, his eyes look like they're bugging out. And they're like, ah! And it's, yeah, it looks like his eyes are about to pop out of his head for some reason. But I assume they can fix that in a patch, and I'm not normally a patch later person, but compared to a lot of the more recent games I played, this game is so far down, and anything I've encountered is just so minor. I mean, Tally gets stuck, but she spawns in when you get to the elevator. That sort of thing. Yeah, it's that sort of thing, and here's the thing. With how complicated AI programming is, unless that's endemic and throughout the game, I tend to give video games a pass on something like that, because I happen to know how hard it is to get to get AI working in every single circumstance. So I'll give it a pass on that. Now, the one thing I do have to say is 100% a lie. BioWare claims that they did something to make the AI smarter. It's not smarter. I've caught plenty of times my guys just shooting at rocks. And not just standing there and shooting at rocks. And not rocks that had an enemy crouching behind them. That I could understand how the AI got confused. But they'll shoot at rocks that don't have anything anywhere near them. So I have no idea why they decided to fixate on this boulder here and just start going to town on it. But after that, it's just great. The one gameplay change that I did, the big gameplay change is that they changed how the Mako handles. The Mako now has a very low center of gravity and feels very solid when you're driving it. Now, this did take me a while to get used to. It's not as fast as it used to be because of this lower center of gravity. In lore, it's explained that there's a Mass Effect field generator that is vertically aligned so that the Mako can go up sheer drops, can go up sheer cliffs easier, and that seems to be a little harder here. However, they do have something to help. And to be honest, it took me a while to get used to, simply because I've been playing this game, you know, but between 3 and 6 times a year since 2007. So long ago, I just got used to the way the Mako handled, and so it wasn't really an issue for me. But for new players, I can see, well, that would be, and yeah, this does seem to be bringing new people in, which is actually making this, which is actually a side effect of, that's actually kind of making it more fun to play, because there's more people to talk to. It's fun replaying this now when there are people actively talking about it on the internet. But anyway, the Mako now is a very solid vehicle, and they changed one, and they gave it a boost, like some sort of boost that causes it to go faster. Like rocket engines on the back or something, and that can help you. In a tight spot. What also helps you in a tight spot is the Mako no longer comes to a dead halt while you're repairing it. So that's it. So that's interesting. Now, you can't fire your gun, so don't think you can go into combat taking on a Thresher Maul. The Thresher Maul damages you. You hit the repair button, and you can keep shooting the Thresher Maul. No, you still need to get out of. You're still not going to be doing any damage to that Thresher Maul, and it's probably a good idea to get out of the way. Also, the Thresher Maul animation has been completely changed. You can now see the Thresher Maul coming at you the first time I ever played Mass Effect, way back in 2007, I actually got one hit killed by the Thresher Maul, because the first time I went down to an alien planet, Thresher Maul just came up under the Mako and just destroyed it. One hit killed me. But now you can see the Thresher Maul coming at you, and they actually made the Thresher Maul more consistent with its Mass Effect 2 appearance, in that it now has tentacles coming out of the ground. I didn't get any photos of this simply because I was too distracted fighting the Thresher Mauls every time one picked up to actually go into photo mode and use that, which I'm having a blast with photo mode. This game looks amazing, particularly the alien planets, and it's a lot of fun going in, and the photo mode has a ton of options for you to use, and sharing the photos on social media, especially if you have the Xbox app on your cell phone, they couldn't have made it easy. They couldn't have made it easier. So yeah, I haven't really encountered any real bugs, and it plays, I can't believe that it's playing at 60 frames per second on my Xbox One S. I expected to have, performance issues on this. But I got it there because I just got the lot of texture mod installed on the Mass Effect trilogy on my PC, and I could only afford one right now, and what's more, on the PC, I like playing it with the mods. Honestly, I think the mods on Mass Effect 3, for me, the mods take that game from like a 6 to a 10. The Expanded Galaxy Map mod, the Miranda mod that's attached to it, the Tally mod, and the Happy Ending mod vastly improve that game for me. So I don't really, unless the creators of those mods, who I don't even know if they're still active in the modding community, because those mods came out so long ago, unless they port them to this edition, I probably won't upgrade on the PC, despite the fact that the game looks amazingly much better. They obviously put most of their work into Mass Effect 1. Now, I have seen a bit of Mass Effect 2 and 3, and they look really good. However, they look really good in that I was impressed with how they looked with the a lot of textures mod. So, and they look about equal with that. I guess that makes sense since they're newer games and they really updated graphics engine. You can really sort of tell that they were sort of modifying the same graphics engine that they used for Knights of the Old Republic with the original Mass Effect, in that it's limited to 720p, that's your highest resolution on the PC, and it's a 720p game, not a 1080p game. And the textures look very similar in the original Mass Effect to what you had in Knights of the Old Republic. So it makes sense that the next two, where they seem to have I don't know what the development process was, but comparing Mass Effect 2 and 3, I assume that they took apart their graphics engine from scratch, rebuilt their graphics engine from scratch to get those two games looking so much better. So yeah, they're not so much a big deal to me. One big change though, it's now official. They officially used this as a chance to finally respond to fan feedback and get rid of that model with just her fingers photo brushed off. Apparently they did what I did, which is they replaced the photo, Tally's photo. If you remember, that was a big thing when Mass Effect 3 came out. I mean, they kept us waiting through all these games to see Tally's face, and then in the photo, and she still doesn't have a character model in the game, which is why I prefer the Tally. I still prefer the Tally mod, but the new face, it looks good. It's fine. But I still prefer the Tally mod simply because it gives her a 3D face in the game. The fan-made Tally mod, so yeah. If that comes to this out, but yeah, so here's how. But as somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to spend on games, that's one of the reasons why I have Game Pass, because I'm able to get a lot of gaming done on both my PC and Xbox for $15 a month. But I have to say, I spent $53 on this, and I think it was worth every penny. Here's how I would look at it if I were most people. First of all, it's mainly for consoles. if you have a PC version, you're not going to see a huge improvement over on Mass Effect 2 and 3 over via a lot of textures mod. You all see one on Mass Effect 1, but so it's mainly for the consoles. But I'd love this to become the default version if the mods come to PC. But I'll wait to buy it on the PC. But here's how I look at it: is on consoles, this is definitely the definitive way to play Mass Effect, and you're getting a lot of content for this money. Here's how I would look at it though. The main work obviously went into Mass Effect 1. They don't seem to have improved the handling of the hammerhead, which I absolutely hate. I mean, you can't even direct your fire. You can't even direct what you're firing at. You just sort of blind fire missiles and you take like 2 hits and then you're dead, and you can't exit it. And no checkpoints in the missions. Don't even get me started on that, the fact that there are no checkpoints in the missions. So if you get killed 8 minutes into a mission, you have to restart the whole 8 minutes again. But that's neither here nor there. But the main work went into Mass Effect 1. So basically, what you're buying for your 50 or 60 bucks is one of the best remasters I have ever seen of an older game, which I wasn't even sure needed a remaster. I wasn't sure Mass Effect was old enough. I mean, I know the graphics look clunky compared to the other two, but I wasn't sure it was old enough that it needed a remaster. But I stand corrected. But what you're really paying for is the remaster of Mass Effect 1 with Mass Effect 2 and 3 thrown in as bonuses. That's pretty much what you're paying for. And you got all the DLC except Pinnacle Station because they lost the source code. But again, that doesn't really bother me personally, because Pinnacle Station, for one thing, it doesn't make sense from a lore standpoint. It never made sense to me. That's why I left it out of my Let's Play. First of all, they say repeatedly that there is no training program for Spectres, yet then you encounter a base where there's a training program for Spectres. And then, for some reason, even though humans are not allowed in the or you're the first human Spectre, and humans are looked down upon by the rest of the galaxy, and humans aren't even a council race yet. It's for some reason run by a human. I don't get it. I mean, they say that humans don't even have been trying to find out just how many Spectres they are, so they don't trust us enough to tell us how many Spectres they are, but they will let us train the Spectres? I really don't get the council on that one. To me, it felt out of place in the lore, and it was the single most boring expansion you could come up with. I mean, it's just a series of brain-dead AIs you're going up against through a series of combat challenges, and some of these challenges, they'd be fun if they were multiplayer, if you were playing them with other people. But it feels like you're playing bot match on a really gimped version of like Battlefield 2 or something. It's just not. And the reward is really minuscule compared to all the time and effort you have to put in to beat this one. So, and I mean, you can't do anything in apartments or in quarters in Mass Effect 1, and they haven't changed that. So, yeah, if there's one piece of DLC that had to be lost, I'm fine with it being Pinnacle Station. I've beat it, I think, 3 times in all the years since it came out, and I don't think it's been like 10 years. But one thing, I think it's been, and I think that was like 10 years ago the last time I did it. I haven't bothered with it since. But one thing that I will note on a personal level is, again, it's probably been, I probably haven't played through the first Mass Effect in a New Game Plus without a New Game Plus since Mass Effect 2 came out, and I forgot just how underpowered you were on the harder difficulties in the early game. You have to play very tactically. It's actually kind of fun to go back and play and have to play more tactically and not be able to just run in there and everything. So that feels, so being forced to start all over again is fun. But yeah, this is one of the best remasters of a video game I have ever seen, and I don't think you'll be disappointed in it. If you're trying to get into Mass Effect for the first time on consoles, this will hit the spot, and it's an amazing value for the money. If you want to go back and replay it, I think you'll enjoy seeing the alien planets, especially, all over again, and seeing your squad mates looking better than ever, and you know, things like the Mako handling better. So yeah, all in all, I really, on the Xbox One S version, I really don't have any complaints about this game, and I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, I should go.